We Harvest Shadows is an indie developed, I think by a single developer game, from David Wheel. It tells the story of a man that moves to a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, shunning his modern day life in the city, with the intent of staying out there forever. You start the game by settling into the serene lifestyle out on a farm, by clearing out some rubbish, selling some crops, and buying some improvements for yourself and the farm. It's there that you realize that things aren't quite as idyllic as they seem, and the player's character might be slowly losing his sanity. Before I continue, I should mention that I have only played the demo for it so far, so I will deliberately refrain from reviewing the game based on anything promised in the full version of the release. That being said, the demo is pretty solid and well worth having a look at. This might seem like an odd thing to review, but the speed with which a game starts up is important to me. I'm not the kind of person to finish games in a single sitting, and my time is often limited. So when I click play, I like getting into the action quickly. Unskippable title screens, games that expect you to press any key multiple times before getting to the menu, or after you've gone through all that, it has the audacity to only then start compiling shaders. I'm happy to report the demo for We Harvest Shadows starts up quickly, no nonsense. Though I stress again, this is the demo, and it could stand to change in the full release. Before we talk about the gameplay, let's talk about admin. There are plenty of available resolutions in the settings menu. In terms of graphical quality though, you're only given 5 options, and that's it. There's no customization around those options. I will say, there's no offering for FSR, DLSS, or frame generation of any kind, but to be fair, I didn't feel like I needed it at any point. On a 4080 Super, things ran well, and I never felt any serious loss of frame rate or degradation in performance. Onto the gameplay. The game does a good job of introducing you to the controls and mechanics one at a time with a simple daily to-do list that you need to achieve before you can call it a day and go to bed. And you absolutely want to get to bed when the sun starts going down, because that's when strange things starts happening. Rushed footsteps behind you, causing you to spin around only to see nothing. Or perhaps you hear someone call out to you, and when you turn around for a split second, you're sure you saw someone standing behind a tree, but on further investigation, there's nothing. You quickly get the feeling that if you don't get to bed soon, things will get more and more dangerous. And this sort of tension is not limited to nighttime only. Throughout the day, you'll come across doors slowly creaking closed, or perhaps a wardrobe shaking violently. Everything just enough to keep you on edge and question just how safe you truly are. There's a painting on the wall in the house that's meant to reflect your mental state, and I really enjoyed seeing how it changed, as it did not only indicate that something definitely was wrong, but it gave me a reason for concern. At one point, a scary face appears in the painting, and I felt nervous just stepping foot outside the safety of my own house. It's a simple mechanic that delivers with great success. As you progress through the days, new items unlock in the shop for you to purchase, including upgrades to your existing equipment, which annoyingly don't seem to replace your old items, but we can work around that. The graphics are fine. It's what you'd expect from a modern day engine. I had it set to very high, and as mentioned earlier, the game performed really well. I'm happy to report I didn't notice any graphical glitches during my playtime either. My one gripe was that the lighting can be overbright at times, not the whole time, just when the sun is at the right angle for it. It's a shame because every morning you wake up and you are greeted with this incredible sunrise. I can't stress enough how good the sunrise looks. But it can at times be ruined with the sun just suddenly turning everything to this reflective bright white. The sound is great, it's been done well, and that includes the use of imaging to give you sudden prompts behind or beside you, which causes you to turn around. The ambient noises also feel well placed, with the sorts of noises you'd expect from a farmhouse out in nowhere. It also felt deliberately placed, and not just a randomly looped backing track of ambient noises. For instance, when the sun goes down, you can hear the filament light bulbs slowly buzzing to life to light up bits of the farm. In a game where atmosphere plays such a big role, you need to pay attention to sound design, and they've done a great job here. Interspersed between your various scenes as well, you'll get some calm and relaxing music that really fits with both the narrative and general state of mind that your character is in. I'd play some of it here, but I believe many of the songs are copyrighted, so I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Let's just step back to atmosphere real quick. The developer does well to combine the graphics and the sound to build up the atmosphere. They make you feel the sense of security, and then with subtle, well-placed little prompts, you start to question that sense of security. Even I started questioning my own sanity. I reached the point where I was sure that it was all in my head and that nothing could physically hurt me in the game. Only it suddenly did. Be it wild dogs that chased me up a ladder in a barn, or these creepy statues that only moves when you're not watching, but if you stare at them for too long, they kill your flashlight and they'll move anyway. It is so well done. The atmosphere stood out to me. The story starts with you, the protagonist, deciding to move out to the middle of nowhere and become a recluse, instead of returning to their life in the big city. I believe this happens after some particular ordeal in their life, I'm not quite sure. Maybe the full version of the game will explain more. But anyway, you buy a farm and start doing the place up a little bit. You add a chicken coop to it, you start cleaning it up, you clear out the trees, clear out the tree trunks, etc. All of this gives you money to buy more upgrades, and slowly but certainly you get more exposition through flashbacks to the days during which you lived in the city, the days before you'd moved out to the farm. The story is well delivered, and I really enjoyed the bits that I got to experience in the demo. I really look forward to the developer expanding on this in the full version, so I can learn more about this character I'm playing and what's caused them to get to this point in time. Now, the demo was short-lived, but even then, I could tell the developer had put a lot of effort into core gameplay mechanics as well as the narrative and how it unfolds. I enjoyed the experience and look forward to the full release for more of that story, as well as more of those hair-raising moments that just seem to creep up on you. I could find little wrong with the demo. There were no crashes or glitches or bugs to speak of. The developer seems to have a clear vision in mind, and they're sticking to that vision, which I can totally appreciate. It might not lead to a mainstream game that sells tens of thousands of copies, but I think anyone looking for this kind of experience could pick this game up and appreciate what has been created. It's hard to tell whether the game would be worth buying without actually knowing the full price tag for it. But let's say the developer releases it at the average price tag for similar indie games. I think you should buy it, honestly. This game, at the same price point of, say, Dishwashing Simulator, would be well worth it. A lot more production effort has gone in. That's not to say Dishwashing Simulator is a bad game. It's still a good game. This is just in a different vein altogether, more focused on the story. If you enjoy horror stories and wanted to see one incorporated into a survival crafting setting, then this is definitely for you, and I'd recommend grabbing it. There is a demo after all, and I think it gives a good idea of what to expect from the full game on release, so why not try it out? Thank you for joining me. If you've played the demo, why not let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below? I'd be very keen to hear. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.